Okay, we call this meeting to order. It's 6 o'clock. Welcome to the Cleveland EDC meeting. If you could please stand with us, Ms. Morella is going to lead us in a prayer.
Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this evening, Father. We want to thank you for every member that's here and every visitor that's here tonight as a guest, Father. Lord, we ask that you help us to make the best decisions that we see fit for our city, Father. Lord, just guide us in the direction that you would have us to go and not what we want, Father. Lord, we pray for the entire city, Father, all the communities surrounding, Father, and our children in our schools, Father. We want to thank you for everything that you've done for us. We continue to ask you to bless each and every one of us as we are here tonight, Father. These blessings we ask in your sweet name, Lord Jesus, amen.
Amen. Please face the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas flag.
I the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and one and indivisible.
Thank you. And as we move on to our next item on the agenda is public comments. We have one person signed up for public comments, Mr. Fred Terrell.
Thank you, Kevin. My name is Fred Terrell. I live at 403 Dudley Street here in Cleveland. I come before you tonight to want to bring something up. Excuse me. Our city historical museum has came to this city council, and I'm bringing it to you. They need some things. They need a computer for one thing. And I think EDC bought one out now. I don't know how old it is, but it's old. So they need a computer. I understand that there's a problem with moisture getting in the building. I don't know whether it's from the roof or from the back wall. I've heard that for several years. So I think it's time that somebody take up the task of finding out really where the problem is. And I'm asking EDC to put some financing toward the historical museum in the way of a computer, whatever else they might need, and some repairs, because those documents in there are going to, if they get moisture, it's going to destroy them. So I've looked at your agenda, I've made it the agenda, I've looked at your money that you pay each month, and there's about 5 things that you pay every month. But there's not really anything there that I see you're doing for the city. So put this on your agenda and try to do something for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Terrell. I would like to say something about that. I volunteered there not this last weekend, but the weekend before last, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am going to continue doing that. And do you happen to know who the treasurer is of the Historical Society?
Yes, treasurer. I can't think of his first name, but he lives over there.
Because one thing that I think would be fair to ask is how much funds are in their account.
How do they get in revenue?
I don't know anything about it. That's why I'm asking.
If I may, actually, there is a treasurer, but there is, should I say, lack of communication right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the last meeting, we nominated another treasurer. So we do have another treasurer, but they're trying to get the documents together so that they can, bring some of those details forward. But right now, it's not available.
Okay, and I think that I had also heard a little bit of that as well, and that might be something we might need to get our mayor involved in to get possibly those documents in the right hands.
Yes, Clay, do they have any revenue?
Sorry?
Do they have any revenue?
Most likely it's
If a
donations.
person goes over there, it's free. There's no
Donations.
admission. So it's just donations. So I imagine their budget is pretty low.
I'm sure it
They
is, but
were,
I just thought that was something to mention.
yeah, and they were utilizing, I think it was pecans, or however y'all said, sales, but I'm not for sure they even got the
dollars amounts on any previous sales or not. So they're still trying to get stuff together.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Terrell, and that's something that we can talk about. Okay, any more comments? Okay, we will move along next to reports and comments from the board members. Well, I guess we'll start on that end.
I don't have anything this evening.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Marilyn?
And that was the only thing that I wanted to speak on was the museum. Actually, from the records that were found, it was indicated that the EDC did purchase the older computers that they had, which now is just totally gone, so they use that computer. And they did come to the city and do a presentation, but we find out that the city is not a part of that entity. They're not a part of the city, but the city owns the building. So I think there was some funds possibly for maintenance of the building, but there's a lot of damage done in the back, and there's an odor that I really think needs to get taken care of. So it might be mold, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done inside. But they definitely need that computer, and possibly some other things that, as you mentioned, as far as systematic, as far as trying to keep up with all the artifacts that has been donated or that are there as now.
I'm sure that the climate control probably needs to be better. Okay, Mr.
Go ahead, you want to comment on that?
Okay, I don't have anything other than school started and it's crazy. Mr. Lambert?
Robert and I met with a guy about a flight school out at the airport. And so we basically gave him some things he needs to do to present back to us. So just, I think it'd be a good thing out there to have a flight school, and he wanted to involve the local schools as well, because that would be a good thing for young people. So,
Absolutely, yeah, that sounds good.
me and Robert's going to work on that.
Good deal.
I have no
Ms.
comment.
White, okay.
I have two questions. One, to begin with, is how's the traffic conditions for the schools on East Houston and FM 2025? And my second question is, how's the Gene Campbell, or does anybody have an update on the Gene Campbell building?
The traffic is not too bad, based on the school. Now, the traffic light might have caused some, little bit of
Yeah.
delays, but until they get that time right,
Yeah, it seems it's been corrected, so it's doing real good. I don't see it on Washington Avenue anymore.
yeah, and as far as the Campbell building, we are looking right now into getting bids on demolition.
Non-survivable, I mean, can't use it for anything other than storage.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, as we move right along now to, did I miss one? I'm sorry.
Number
No,
4.
I did ask.
I want to make a
Okay,
comment.
yes, sir.
Hey, I want to comment, one about the historical museum. I think that is something, I mean, we really got a nice museum for Cleveland. I mean, I carry a lot of people over there, I've been in there, I've looked back, it does have water problem. I highly think we need to do whatever we can for them, because that is really nice. But I want to mention something about the agenda. There was a line item that was left off. Y'all, in front of y'all have a revised agenda. Now, after we put this out and posted it, we sent it out, then we called it. So, if y'all have the agenda, it was in your packet, but we still got time to put it out and repost it on the wall outside and do everything we need to make sure it was still posted time. But we added one line item in there, and that was, it had to do with proposed budget, but we still got it out in time. But y'all have it revised in front of y'all, so that's what we're going by.
All right, thank you.
And Madam President,
May I say one
Yes,
other
ma'am.
thing? They're also needing other volunteers. So I would like to see the EDC take part in that as well, if you can. And it's on Saturdays, Fridays,
Fridays
and Saturdays. So if you're interested,
11 to 2.
just let
I'll
Sheikah's
volunteer
know
on
or
Friday.
myself know, or Carrie Dover.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, moving right along, Mr. Reynolds, on your business report.
And y'all have, it's kind of the same ones, and we talked about this, so a lot of things don't change, that quick, but I do want to say one thing. And it's working with these guys, and Jackson Kane, Jack Berger, and all these new quests, they did close on a piece of property that we've been talking about, and actually it belonged to Saeed. That closed. So, there'll be something, I can't say what it is right now going in there, but that piece of property did close, so something's in the making there. BNSF, I want to let everybody know, at the city council meeting on September the 20th, I would like, we would most right, if everybody can make that would be good, because BNSF's going to be here to give as much as they can, update on that project. One of the superintendents came by and visited with us today to go over what they're needing to do, but they've hired a contractor, so they're moving on site. That project's fixed to start moving forward there with BNSF. Burger Works, I called William Teminga, I have not got a response out of him, so we did a lot, and we just gotta keep pushing this guy, because we need some more things out of him as well. But he's having Jack Berger list and trying to find somebody to put on his site there. And Ms. Blimmer, I think you know that guy as well. Whitewater Car Wash still planning on being open October. The urgent care, the Humana, somebody say that name for me. But that's the property that's right beside Holiday Inn and Waterburg in the middle. They're still working with Denny's, they keep telling me, doing their due diligence. I'm ready to see something happen with them. B Plastics, they are starting to function on Low Water Bridge Road. They brought in more equipment, they're putting in, building slabs out there, so that project, they'll start employing people and start taking on plastics and things like that to help. Nothing new on the Waffle House. Nothing new right now on the churches building, other than it's still in legal with two different firms. We all know Wally's open, and that's there. There's a couple other things I can't talk about until it gets to that point. And
Thank
go ahead.
thank you. When this was first on the list, B Plastics, I mentioned, I know that it's commercial, they deal strictly with commercial, but I was wondering if maybe you could ask or present to them, maybe somewhere down the line, where we could do residential plastic, whether it be once a month, once every other month, because I know every household here, every household in the city of Cleveland, in Liberty County, have some type of plastic. All of this plastic is going in our landfills.
Going where?
I've had that discussion with,
In the landfills.
Yeah, we've had that discussion. What they're doing right now, they're bringing in hard plastic.
Okay.
They have came in, and like the city, like we're digging up the old PVC pipe, the old water pipes. They're wanting to get with the school as well, and start getting, because all that stuff goes in dumpsters as well, it goes to landfill. But yeah, that's where they are with the beginning of it, but we've talked about as it grows, the future end
Yeah,
of.
sometimes in the future, that would be great
Yes,
for
ma'am.
us. Okay, that's it.
Okay. Any more comments, questions?
None.
Okay. we'll move on to the consent agenda. I assume everyone has looked at their packet and looked at the minutes from our last meeting, monthly expenses, quarterly investment reports. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the consent items 5, 6, and 7.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. We move on to our next item. Okay, looks like we are going to get to talk about Tough Kids. That's good. That's exciting.
Good evening, everyone.
You're next.
Thank you. Okay, I want to first just give you all an update on where we are with the building. It's exciting. But we are littered. Your name? Oh, I'm sorry, Isha Jones. So they are finishing up taping and floating. So next, the only thing has to be done is the texture, paint, put the floors in, of course, in the cabinets and the toilets and all of those things. But at this point, that's where we are. So we are just needing funding to just finish out this home stretch. My hope is that, literally, we've kind of been a moving target here. But as you all probably know from nonprofits just across the country, just donations just kind of slowed down for everyone. I sent out a new round of donation letters, I think about a week and a half ago. So we started getting some checks to come in. So at this point, from the time we initially started fundraising last July, I think some people gave us a check. We have raised between corporate sponsors and fundraisers $105,000. For the project, we have spent a total of $123,000 on the project. We've had like $48,000 in labor donated to it, so that is where we are. I'm here tonight asking you all to consider donating an additional $5,000. If you all remember the initial sponsorship that I asked for the top sponsor was $25,000. We were at the end of your physical budget, so you just didn't have it. But I'm asking tonight to consider donating the other $5,000. We are at $54,000 left needed to complete the building. So that's what I'm here asking for tonight.
Are y'all able to utilize the building at all yet?
No.
Okay.
So, of course, everything else has been done, but we just, I don't want to go in there and
Yeah.
the floors aren't finished
Okay.
on those sides. So we are hoping that, literally, I'm thinking we can be finished with this. As long as funding comes in, we can be finished with this building by the end of September. So September 1, to be able to do some after-school programming within this facility.
Did you have something specific you were going to use with the $5,000 or?
So right now, my hope is to be able to buy the material for the flooring.
Okay.
I have priced out, it's actually $6,600. At Sam's, there's this laminate that is like 14 millimeters thick. I went in and took my key and dug into it because I was like, that's what kids do, because I wanted to know how durable it was. And you cannot see the scratches in it or any of that. So that is what I'm actually hoping to be able to buy with that donation. And something else I was about to say.
Okay.
It just came to mind. But yeah, so that is where I'm at. I'm hoping that they will be able to go in and texture next week. And then after that, it's just painting it, and we're ready for the floors to go in. So that is exciting. The website is being redone. He actually started on that a couple days ago. So when you go to the Tough Kids website and you go to the sponsors page and you click on EDC, it actually is a link directly to you all's website now. So literally all the major sponsors, that is one of the new features that I love. Because people want to know, well, who all is supporting you?
Yes.
So to be able to go directly to those companies' websites and see who are supporting us. So that's really awesome. But, yeah, that's
Well, I want to thank you very much for what you do. We appreciate you. Appreciate that.
I just wanted to ask, is the website already connected?
Yes, it's already there. So they're still redoing some stuff, but literally when you can go on and you can just click on it and it is there. So I'm hoping that by the end of this week they'll be fully functional with all the other things, but yes.
And I'd like to see you bring some pictures back, because when you started, you gave us the initial house before it got started, and I think it would show the board
Absolutely.
the progress that has been made.
Not only that, so one of the other things, and I hadn't even announced this year, but we're actually going to do a thankful Thanksgiving. I know that everyone's end of the year gets pretty busy with, you know, holiday parties and all of that. And so I want to, well, we'll invite you all out to do a thankful Thanksgiving and actually tour the facility, and we'll serve and that whole thing. But I think it's key for people to come out and actually see what is actually taking place. I had the Boy Scout reach out a couple weeks ago. So we have some scouts that need to finish whatever their badges are. And so they came out actually Sunday with some carts they had made us with games, and they're like, "You're crying." I'm like, "You just don't know the fact of how exciting just the small things actually are, and the fact that these kids are willing to help." So yeah, but I will definitely do that when it's finished, so you all can actually see it. But I hope to get you all to come out and actually see the facility for itself.
And I do have another question. So have any of the local, did you say like the lumber companies or flooring, have any of the local
So-
donated?
No. So, and I have sent letters out to all of them, including, you know, Lowe's and Home Depot. I'm like, I shop at these stores all the time. But no, I hadn't got a response from them yet. I had a couple of them ask me, McCoy's asked me for a materials list.
That's what I was trying to think of.
So I did send over a materials list, but I have not heard back from them yet. Same thing.
One last question. Grants. Did any of this support come from any type of grants?
Not specifically, but yes. So we had a Rotary grant for $6,600 that helped pay for the AC unit. Another one that's exciting, they're actually getting ready to do a press release, and Lord help me, Jesus. I don't want to slaughter it. But it's an association of privately owned banks. We just got awarded one of their grants for the whole state of Texas for $12,000 that they did. And so they haven't done the whole press release yet, but hopefully it'll be done here really soon, and I can publicize that. And they're all the people to come down, and they're going to make a huge deal out of it. So yeah, we're really excited about that. But specific grants for the building, the only one that we got was the Rotary one, with no major, you know, besides you all with EDC.
Any more questions, comments?
Looks like Mr. Rock.
No questions.
Okay, well, we appreciate, oh, okay.
I got a question. Mr. Pemberton, have y'all met, you know about this project?
I don't. We have not.
I'd like for y'all to meet, and I don't know, maybe there's some way you can help her with the flooring or get flooring at a, cause
I'm gonna pull up the website. I was happy to hear that because I didn't have a clue what y'all were talking about.
Yeah, but y'all need to visit, but
Absolutely.
maybe you can help get a discounted flooring or something, I mean.
For sure.
Okay. I just want to make a comment that since you mentioned that, and I have never met Mr. Benton either, but we don't have a boys and girls club here, just to let you know. We don't have any boys and girls clubs here in the city. And Tough Kids is, they took on this task for approximately 11 years now? Is it 12 years? And this is the only thing we have. We have sort of tried to get the local boys and girls club, but nobody was willing to come here. So they took upon themselves the dream that they had, and so they got this building that was donated to them, and they started from there. So everything has been specifically donations. So we're proud of what they've done.
Yes.
Very proud of what they've done.
Thank you. And another FYI, once it is open, we will be actually the only youth center in Liberty County.
Yeah.
Which I did not know that until the Save the Children rep told me that. She says, "You're the only one in Liberty County." So, yeah, we will be the only youth center in Liberty County. So it's really exciting. And so we just hope to be able to.
And there's a lot of history with this building, so I think you might want to get something together so you can present to him.
Okay.
Let him see how it all got started.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Where's it at?
It is, it's precinct 20. It is 1609 Ross Avenue. It is literally around the corner from Saffron Valley Park.
You should even with the length, how many square feet
It
flooring
is,
you need?
it is,
And are you gonna do a mix like carpet somewhere?
no.
It's gonna be all.
Yeah, 40 kids, Mr. Trent, that we just need solid floors throughout.
Well, I mean, that has a lot to do with cost in it.
Yeah, so,
You got 2 floors, right?
2 floors, so yes, it was a total of 2,080 square feet.
2008?
80.
Okay. We just did log cabin, and it was 2,500 square feet, and we got that in right around $8,000.
Okay, well, we appreciate your presentation, we appreciate what you're doing. My recommendation to the board would be we are going to adjourn here shortly into executive session, and I think that we will discuss this in executive session.
Thank you.
Okay? So we're gonna move along to our next item, which is discussion on the fiscal year 22-23 proposed budget. Your turn.
So good evening, board members. I'm going to give you an overview of the proposed preliminary budget. So we're going to start with the first. This is a summarize, and then I'll go into detail. So the summary right here for fiscal year 2021 year-end actual total revenues ended at $750,119. And then total expenditures, $659,547, with revenues over expenses by $90,572. On fiscal year 2022 year-end projected, we're projecting to end total revenues at $768,425, and total expenses at $600,824, with revenues over expenditures $167,601. Ending cash balance at 1.7 million, almost 1.8. You see the reserve requirement at the 25%, it's the 150,206. The annual debt coverage of 187,544, and then the excess in cash of 1.4 million. For fiscal year 2023 proposed budget, I am projecting total revenues to come in at 813,523. And total expenditures of the same, making the balanced budget. And so ending cash at 1.7 million, and reserve, we still have the reserve 25% of 203,381, and then to cover our annual debt coverage of 194,320, and excess in cash of 1.3, almost 1.4. If you go to the next slide, that's this is the revenues. EDC's main resource income is sales tax, so I am projecting for fiscal year 2022 to come in as sales tax at $751,625, and then interest revenue at $16,800, with total revenues at $768,425. For fiscal year 2023 proposed budget, I am projecting 6% for sales tax. So you see sales tax at $796,723, and then interest revenue at $16,800, with total revenues at $813,523. We go to the next slide, and this is okay.
Why is it less in 2021? Why is it less? Why see the amounts, actual budget, projected budget?
That's because we don't know until we actually, these are projections. This is not actual numbers. Actual numbers will be whenever we get the audit and they actually, go through our books, and then they realize that.
So you project less?
Yes. No. The year-end actual is 750,000. This is I'm projecting more for 2023. You see from 800.
The amount is more, the interest revenue is less than 2021.
revenue?
She's talking about the 16,879 and 16.
Yeah, that's projection. I don't wanna because of Fed rates, I don't wanna over budget there in the interest. But I do, sales tax, I always do 5% or 6%. That's the reason why. I'm trying to be conservative because this is not actual numbers. This is just proposed forecasting. It's not set in stone.
Okay.
The next line item, the next slide is fiscal year 2022 year-end projected. We have operating expenses at $361,324, and then we have financial programs at $239,500, which total expenses is $608,24 with revenues over expenditures of $167,601. And the reason why is because we're having expense out. The capital outlay, we've only spent out $92,500. And then you see the gateway, I did the $100,000 and the $30,000. That's because I'm gonna do a carryover for next year so it can be used. For next year proposed budget, I have operating expenses at $384,012, and then I have financial programs at $429,511 with total expenses at $813,523. That's if you were to use your whole money to fund projects. That's why it's a projection. So you have $355,511 to fund projects.
So that would be a carryover?
The carryover, the 130, it's gonna be a carryover. It's gonna be a carryover for.
Okay, got it.
No, the 355,511 is for next year projected to be used for projects. And then if we go to the next slide, I balanced the budget with a 5% increase of cost of living due to inflation. Council approved to observe 9% health insurance increase. Once again, the capital outlay of the 355,511, which funds will be allocated to various projects depending what EDC decides to do with them. And then the allocation of the 130 will be carryover from fiscal year 2022 to finish gateway signs and downtown mural project.
So what is the 9% health insurance increase?
It's because of inflation and because of high claims. Our health benefits insurance went up 9%, so council decided to absorb the cost.
How does that affect EDC?
I just had to put it in there, but I think you don't have anything? Or don't you have dental?
Yeah, yeah. It
Okay,
doesn't really affect
I
us.
see. Okay.
Yeah, but I have to put it in, because that's what,
It's gotta be put
I
in.
forget
Yeah.
there's a salary, I'm sorry.
yes.
Okay, because I don't get paid. Sorry.
I'll give you some of this
Oh.
bread.
Okay, so, and this is just a multi-year forecast from 2023 to 2027. You see the highlighted, that money just increases to be able to fund projects for EDC, assuming that in the perfect world that, everything goes good in the next 5 years and we don't have like another COVID or, anything that can affect our sales tax rate. Any questions?
So what do we have now? This year,
This year, let me go back on my thing.
not affecting the next year budget.
So for this year, capital outlay of $409,465, but we have not used none of that money. We only used $90,000 that we had to for the sidewalk projects phase 2. That's already been allocated. That's the $92,500, and then the $100,000 and the $30 is I put it there because it's going to be a carryover. So I'm projecting that we're gonna use it for those projects. But yeah, you have not,
So when you say carryover, that means it was carried over from the previous fiscal year?
yes, because it got approved by EDC, so EDC approved, for example, the 90,000 got approved by EDC last year, but it didn't get expend till this year, so I did a carryover, so we can expense it out this year. It's because it's already been approved, it's already been allocated to that project,
Right,
so it just makes it easier for us to just carry over.
okay.
And we're probably, I mean, you see, we're gonna do that for the 100 and the 130, because we're not gonna use the 130 at the end of September, because we haven't even done anything with the mural, we haven't decided anything, and then the 100,000 for the gateway signs.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Comments?
The audience asked a question.
Go for it.
Good question.
Demolition, 18,000, we used 7,500. So we have a plan for the other 10,000.
For the demo, we
We
use,
got in budget 18,000 demolition, or affordable housing, and I know we used 7,000 plus 8,000. So that leaves 10,000, we're gonna use that.
we could do a carryover if you want, or next year just fund the, because I know Brent wanted to go up on that, and we funded 24,000 for that. So it's kind of like if you don't lose it, I mean, you don't use it, you kind of lose it. So it goes back into fund balance, it just adds more money to your fund balance, and then the next year you reallocate the funds for that line item.
And you also got 45,000 for business incentives, is that net spent?
No. Only, I believe, 7,000, I'll have to go back and see what that was for, but only, if you see, it's only 7,000 that has been spent. I know that we did, that, what was it, the thing on the Civic Center that you had to, we paid for the food for that?
I'll let us know.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't Alice Day, it was for the Cleveland Correctional,
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
job
you did,
fair.
yeah, job fair for TDs, yeah.
On the business incentives, has anyone applied? I only know of one person that came forth. Wait. Scratch that. Scratch that.
Okay,
I gotta fix that. Scratch it.
Disregard?
okay.
Any more comments or questions?
None.
Okay, we'll move on. I think it's still you, isn't it?
Yes, that's just for us to be able, this is legality, we have to hold a public hearing, and I am recommending for us to do a public hearing September 12th, Monday, September 12th at 6 p.m. That's my recommendation.
If everyone is available or doesn't have any problems with September the 12th at 6 p.m., I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and set a public hearing for that date, September the 12th at 6 p.m.
Okay, we have a motion for this budget meeting at 6 p.m. on September 12th. Do we have a second? We have a second. All those in favor? Motion passes. And we move to the next item, which is, discussion, possible action on current and future EDC projects. Does anyone have any discussion on any future EDC projects?
I don't.
Any comments, questions, discussions on projects?
Can I bring up the one that Rotary is gonna help out? Do we have to call it a park?
No, sir.
If that's the big thing that was the holdup at city council,
It still is. We're gonna discuss that in council tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Doing something at the old fire
Old fire
station, we were
station.
talking about doing something over there, the old fire station property,
Okay.
but, council,
Is that what
we
they're
need
doing
to
with food
discuss
trucks?
that with council.
Okay.
Yeah. But I want to really appreciate you stepping out, doing that right away, because that's how I like to act on things.
Yes.
Right away.
Yes.
Instead of waiting to the last minute.
Yes.
well, if we want to get it done by Thanksgiving, with the ornaments and all that, the biggest thing is the energy, the lighting and stuff like that needs to be on order.
Well, I think you got the energy part taken care of, it's just the city part. It's as far as whether it's gonna be a park or what, and that's what the attorney was sort of trying to explain to us, so we're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
Y'all just tell me what y'all need me to do.
So I take it that's something that's gonna be discussed with council, and then after that, maybe you can go further. Right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I guess we have no other discussion there, so we will go to the next item, which is the discussion and possible action on the Texan Theater mural project.
Mr. Pendleton, come up and introduce yourself.
Good evening, Clint Pendleton. I own the Texan Theater. I'm hoping y'all are ready to do this mural.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you.
What else do you own in Cleveland?
That's about it in that company.
Okay.
Do you own all the buildings with the pretty lights on top of them?
When they stay up, yes.
Yeah, thank you for that. It was very nice.
It didn't stay up like we planned, so we're gonna try a new plan next holiday season.
Well, the effort was there, and we appreciate that. And
We're trying.
yes, sir.
I want to comment, we're going back a couple of months ago, we had a design that Mr. Pendleton, you presented to us, and I brought us, and really needed to be tweaked and worked a little different. So I went back to him, told him to work on that, and this is his concept he brought to me. Anyway, just see what y'all,
I just wondered, what is this on the end? Is that a house?
That's
that is
the
the,
depot.
that's
Oh, is that
the
what that
depot.
is?
That's the
Train
depot.
depot.
I like it immensely. I think it's wonderful.
I don't like the depot. I would prefer the train.
Huh?
That's my thought. The
Put a
train.
little train there, not the depot. You can
That's
do
my
that.
thought. That's my thought. I love the truck and the what is this tank, the water tank?
That's the city of
I
Cleveland's
like
water
that.
tower.
What is that above that?
That's the
That's the
Texas
Texas
business.
Oh, the Texan thing?
Yeah, that's on the other side, it's just visible.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I believe the depot, it just look like a house to me. I think the train was still a bit more.
But you know what, maybe I have a little suggestion while you're saying that. I love the depot. I think that maybe where the flag, the Texas flag is, maybe a train there.
Well, let me comment, if y'all look deep in
Okay.
behind Cleveland.
Okay.
Oh, I
You
see
see
the
the
train.
train back there?
Okay,
I mean, he could bring that train on down
Maybe where it'll pop out.
behind, bring that train on behind where the depot is, leave the Texas flag, and you can still see the train just kind of moving forward.
I didn't see the
We
train.
actually had the train, like what you're talking about.
Yes.
Except there was discussion that, what do we put on there, Union Pacific or BSNF? So we avoided the train because we didn't want, we got two different train tracks, two different companies.
Do we have to put anything on it?
And that, the engine y'all have is like an older engine,
Maybe
it
the
doesn't
whole-
really matter if it can,
Right.
because a generic engine, but, I mean, I don't know, like what they're saying, if maybe take the depot out, leave the flag there with some, just kind of bring the train out a little bit, I mean, what do y'all,
gotta have the train.
Yeah,
You can see it.
because the log truck and the train's what built Cleveland.
Yeah. And you don't have to, I didn't see the train at first, so but that makes sense, even if you put that train with the depot or whatever, take that flag off. I don't know.
Take the flag off or leave it.
Or maybe put the nose of the train more.
Into
Visible.
the,
Yeah.
visible, into the depot. Or is there
Or you
some
know,
way-
art,
No.
Okay.
No. What I really need though is some directions. She's redone this 3, 4, 5 times and
Yeah,
she's
I know.
running out of patience with me
I know,
on
I know.
renderings.
this is good.
This is good, because I didn't see the train at first, that was my thing, where's the train?
Yeah,
But
right there.
the train, I'm sure she could bring that out a little bit more, just so
Make it pop,
it could be visible,
yeah.
that's all.
Can I make
I just didn't see the,
Go ahead.
What if you have the water tower in the truck, so if Cleveland is centered, then in the same proportions do the end of the depot with the train. So the train's basically just as big as the engine on the truck, and then your Texas flag would go on the engine of the train. But it would be in proportion to your truck on the
I
other
think
side.
that's a
The
great
problem
idea.
is the wall's not, it's
Yeah.
declining, it gets real small.
And I like the fact that it's not perfectly in proportion.
Mhm.
You don't want it to be too, I think, you don't want it to be, I kind of like the fact that it's.
it's good, I think it's good, just as long as, I didn't see
You
the
want to say
train,
something?
that
Go
was
ahead.
one thing.
You could,
I just, quick observation.
Okay, what?
Of my limited knowledge of the city. This represents the past of Cleveland. You started as a logging city, you have the train, I know BNSF and that's coming forward.
Uh-huh.
But I agree with Marilyn, that looks like a house to me, so if I were like driving through your city, I don't know what that represents.
Right.
What about just starting from your past and your logging and choosing something next to the Texan flag that represents your future? Can you choose your future of, an image of your future, like our goals as a city? And change that one house? I know the train depot is important, but it's just, it represents your past, is all I see. And nothing about it.
We bought the old depot and we're gonna do something with it, so hopefully it will be a focal point of downtown somewhere.
Yes. We're
So-
trying to incorporate it all in, kinda.
okay, let's get back on, I mean,
So does everybody want a train that's not behind the Cleveland, want it out here? Or,
I like it behind.
she can do anything, she just wants instructions.
Maybe just make it a little bit brighter on the train part and the smokestack that's there.
put a little more depth into it, yeah. But then, if you go to like, put more depth to it, then it takes away from the lettering of Cleveland somewhat too, maybe.
And that was a problem. My first drawings, Cleveland was not the focal point. It was, we had Cleveland in the background with all the other things out front. And I had instructions to make Cleveland the focal point, and then the other things. So that's why the train kind of disappeared in the background.
And I know we push it for time, but I really wish it had been a theme instead of welcome to Cleveland. That's just my thought, because we got welcome signs already coming to the city, but something that's making a statement. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Maybe on front of the building, you can put some railroad crosses there on the front.
Why is there an urgency for this? What is the hurry?
Because it's this thing about projects, and we've been doing this, we've been on this for a while. And.
But we need to get this right. This
Well-
has to be.
Instead of throwing it up.
That's true, that's why I say I know it's an urgency, but I would really like to have a
Yes.
theme.
Yeah, I mean, we really need to be comfortable with
So you
this.
don't want to change the whole scheme when you say a theme?
No.
A theme, say for instance, what was the theme we used for Ally Day? I'm not saying to use this, but what was the theme?
Keep it on track, stay on track, something like that.
On track to success or something
Yeah, on
like that?
track to success, that's what it was.
Because it was a railroad track and we are moving.
Everything is
forward. So if y'all think, to come up with a theme, it don't be a long theme, a short theme. Just like we had Harvey theme, the hurricane or whatever, we like Cleveland Strong, something, I don't know about the people, it's just a people's theme.
To me, it covers everything.
I like Cleveland Strong.
I
I don't know if people would understand that,
I know back when this really started to begin with, all we had was, the beginning was welcome Cleveland, and that was it. Nothing else added in, and that was, going back a while now. But that was gonna be the main thing.
Yes, I
When
know.
you turn welcome Cleveland,
Well, we could, I
and
think,
then we, so,
are we, if you're not comfortable with welcome, we could just put Cleveland.
Rachel, do you have an idea?
The good news is the artist, she's full of creativity.
I know.
She just needs, I've had her bouncing around with different things, and she just needs,
Some direction.
good direction towards a final, because at this point, she's doing everything for free. She just builds it into her price and goes, and, if we can give her comfort that she's our person, she'll keep working on it, but I've got many more drawings that I came up with her without any input. And then this is what I got back as the best input from y'all's side. But if y'all will give me a committee of 2 or 3, we can do something. It
Can I
just,
make a comment? I'm not an artist, but to me, yellow is a bad color. It doesn't show contrast, because when I look up there, the truck is yellow, and the background's yellow. And I've always been told yellow is not a good color for a sign. Just my comment.
Okay, well, that's maybe a thought. What do you want to say, Ms. Hall?
Well, I was off of what Marilyn said. If you are familiar with the Houston sign, Be Someone, that has become very popular, like a slogan type of thing, that if you can go in that direction and it becomes a centerpiece, it becomes very personal to the city or people or slogan or merchandise or whatever. So I was just going to suggest that you mirror something like the Be Someone, not copy that exactly, but maybe something like that, because that's popular even outside of the city of Houston.
Because Cleveland is moving forward. And as you stated earlier, this represents totally the past. So we have the past, but we're moving forward into the future. And to portray something that we're moving forward
To what?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I personally think it's a good mural there. But the only comment I made was we could make the train a little bit darker, because that's gonna be the first thing that's gonna fade out eventually, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, but I like it, and if you wanna condense it, or smaller the size of Cleveland, in order to make the train bigger, I'm kind of beside myself whether to have welcome to Cleveland or just leave it as Cleveland, give more room for the train. But you got it in the right direction. The truck's headed to the right, the train's headed to the right, the flag's headed to the right, and the depot is headed in the right direction. So it's all, and I like the water tower there myself.
as to the yellow, she told me, and it's hard to see on here, but that's the sun. That's sunlight, and there's
Yes.
sun rays in
Yes.
here that are hard, but that was the concept.
Yeah, I had figured that already. Maybe put a little blue streak on the top end of it, or, I don't know if it's worthy trying to raise the wall up a little bit to make it bigger. I don't want to micromanage this thing here. I like it, and keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. I like this mural.
It's come a long ways. It's come a long ways. So,
Look at this, it's the past.
is there a group that wants to work with me with her?
Yes, I think so. to just, like she said, go it together. We don't, the past is fine, but we're moving forward. And half of us won't even be here, years and years down the road, but you want to sort of enhance the growth. I mean, that's how I see it.
We have a motto in our school that is kind of, and our motto is the Cleveland way. That's what our motto is. And I'm thinking maybe we can put our heads together, maybe a few of us on this board can get together with this artist and with her creativity and our minds and the fact that we're born and raised here, and maybe we could come up with something.
I wasn't born and raised, but I've been here.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. I mean, us that have been here a long time and maybe come up with something.
Can we do that, sir?
Absolutely.
Okay, who do we have here that would like to be on this little committee? I would help with that. Okay. 3 of us, okay. That be okay? All right, let's do that.
I will send you, all 3 of y'all, I'll send you some of the past versions. And I actually think she did me a mural for another building that was exactly what you're talking about, past to future.
Right.
I mean, it ended up with an astronaut
Yes.
type situation.
I guess we'll provide you our email addresses.
I think they're on the agenda, I think, or they're at least on the website.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
they're not?
They are.
Perfect.
Okay,
All right, thank you so much.
thank you.
The only comment I have is that it still indicates we're in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay, we will move on to the next item, which is a discussion on EDC board members' participation in the upcoming TEDC conference in October. It's on the 19th. So, I guess we need to discuss attendance for this conference. Where is this conference?
We send, we start, is that in?
Well, tell us a little bit about this conference.
That
Yes,
is the
Robert.
TEDC annual conference that, we need to attend.
What is-
Myself and Brent definitely are going. So we start one end, we're gonna,
Start on this end.
Mr. Clay, you guys, go ahead.
No, she said, tell her something about this conference. This conference is actually the Texas EDC Economic Development.
The annual,
The one that we have attended previously was the TML, which is the Texas Municipal League. But this one right here, it would give you a little bit more in depth of what you need to be doing with EDC, and there's also courses, different things there.
We talked about the sales tax and budget and all that.
Okay.
You went to it last year.
But it was the one, it was in,
It was a Bastrop.
is this the same one?
Yeah, but they have different things going on.
no, this
No,
one
this is
will
a
be,
different one.
This is not the same one.
It's not?
this will be a lot more to this.
Yeah.
It's TEDC, but it will be a lot more than this
I
one.
think this one's a
This
bigger one.
annual, yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the,
Okay, so I guess this is open for anybody on the board that wants to attend this, is that right?
Correct, we need, yeah.
Okay, so how much does it cost?
$219, choose the rate. $219.
Well, we just really, we approve everybody going, we'll approve people going, it's just, we need to know who wants to attend.
Okay,
Not, 'cause that's gonna take care of the money.
okay, so the dates are October 19th through the 21st.
I'm there, Brent's there,
definitely our director needs to go, definitely. Michelle's there.
so,
Okay. I'll go.
Are you waiting on me, Robert?
start at one end or the other.
Oh, it don't matter, I can start on this end here. I should be able to go for that time frame. That's the 20, I mean, the 19th through the 20th, so do we do the arrival on Tuesday evening, is that how it goes? Is it a 3-day event being,
Come in on the 18th.
come in on the 18th?
Yep.
Okay, that's good so far, and then, arrival on the 18th, leaving on the 21st at 12:15, is that correct?
Yeah, you can leave if you
Okay.
want to.
And then, do we get reimbursement,
Yes.
just mileage?
Jackie?
I mean, we have to pay for our hotel rooms, and that's on our,
No,
No.
EDC pays for the hotel, the meals, and the mileage.
okay. At this time, I don't see any reason why I should not be there. I have another prior engagement on the weekend before, and then shortly after, when I get back on the 21st, I will be leaving that evening and going somewhere for that weekend on another board meeting. So I'm gonna have a busy schedule for a week.
Okay, so you're gonna, Michelle?
Patrick's, yes.
Is that's a yes?
That's a yes for Patrick. That's a yes. That's a yes.
My new wife here. Yes. The only problem is he can't get us all together.
Okay, and Marilyn?
Scott, he said he's going? Yeah. You'll be there, from the hall board? And,
Leslie's going.
Jennifer is the EDC secretary, and she needs to attend. Because she is, and generally, I know the finance director usually wins, but Jennifer is the EDC secretary.
Okay, so are you gonna go, Jennifer? Okay, so she's going, you got her? Leslie, okay. So we've got that, so we'll move on to the next item.
Okay, do we need to make a motion approving everybody going?
Okay, I'm sorry, we do. Okay, so we,
Everyone's going.
okay, would we like a motion, would somebody please make the motion?
Make a motion to accept participating in the upcoming event, October 19th to 21st.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second from Ms. White, all those in favor? Motion passes. We move to the next item. We're gonna go to executive session, Texas Government Code Section 551.072, deliberations about, oh, yes, I can say that, can I? Sale and purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. I'm sorry.
I remember what it was. If you all remember a while back, I told you that I was in the process of, I had already actually become certified as a USDA packager. But I actually just got our MOU back from Lift Funds. So Tel Kids is now certified to actually do package those loans. So I have 2 young ladies that I'm about to start teaching them how to package those loans for low to very low income families. So they'll be able to qualify for our area. For a family of 4, it's like $63,000 limit. But depending on qualifications and all that, but they will finance up to like $283,000. So I'm hoping that we can use this product to be able to get some of these families, these young families, into some home ownership.
Fabulous.
And teach these young girls how to package some
Yes.
loans in the meantime.
That's
So anyway,
wonderful.
I just want to let you all know that.
Thank you
was
for
happening.
sharing that. Thank you. Okay, we are going to be right back. Yeah.
check it out, see what we can do.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting back to order at 7:23. And we're going to jump back on the agenda to the Tough Kids, number 8, the Tough Kids project, and we have all agreed to donate. So,
Madam President, I would like to
we
make
need to make a motion. Sorry.
that request.
I'll second.
And we have a motion, and we have a second, and all those in favor? Motion passes.
Congratulations.
5,000.
Yes, so make that your motion.
Thank you all very, very much.
Are you sure, can you send me an invoice?
No action taken on our executive session, and the next item on the agenda is adjourn. Do I have a
Madam
motion?
President, I would like to make a motion that we adjourn, please.
We have a motion to adjourn, we have a second, and all those in favor? And we are adjourned at 7:24. Thank you all for coming.